Hey, I'm Ali. Welcome to Little Hill Homestead. So, a while ago, probably a year ago, we included this in a Monday. We do like a Monday food prep. We included it in one of those. And I get questions all the time on where is it? And I have to go dig every time and try to find it. So, I figured make a quick video for you guys. So, what I'm going to be showing you guys today is how we bulk prep our bread mix. We use it in a bread machine to make what we call the perfect sandwich bread, but we also use the same mix for hamburger buns, hot dog buns, hoagie rolls. We've made donuts with it. It's a very universal dough and it's super easy to work with, super easy to make. So I make a bunch and then it's ready just to dump and use instead of having to go collect all the ingredients because we use it constantly. I'm going to make 6 jars of it today. That will last us maybe 2 weeks in our house. Like I said, we go through it pretty quickly. I am using quart jars. I have some leftover ones from Honey from Azure and just whatever you've got. But quart is the best size for this. Quart, not pint. Yes, quart jars. Because you have 3 1/3 cups of flour in each of them, plus some other ingredients. I reuse the full piece, like 1-piece lids. These are from Azure. These we got in an Amish store. I don't can with these, but they're great for something like this. What ingredients do you need? Flour. I'll go into that in a minute. Sugar, salt, and powdered milk. Yeast I'll also go into later, but let's get started. First thing you guys need are your jars. You can do this in however many you want. It does hold long. If you have one of the things you put on top to suck the air out of it, they'll last even longer. But like I said, I like to do about 2 weeks worth in one sitting just to make my life easy. I usually will get up first thing in the morning, pull my bread machine out and make bread. I do it probably 3 times a week for different stuff. So I like to do this so that when I'm not caffeinated, it's a whole lot easier for me. So each jar is going to get 3 1/3 cups of flour. Can't remember what video we just did, but somebody wanted it weighed. So we did weigh it in a recent video and I can't remember how much it was, but it's okay. So it's 3 1/3. And I'm going to shake this to get it down in there. I just reuse the same jars. I clean them, pop them in an easy place to grab, and then I just keep using them. So I'm just going to go down the line and do this for all of them. It's a tight squeeze to get it all in there, but it does fit. 3. My measuring cup has a little marker on the side. The other thing, I'm using bread flour for this. I said I'm going to go into it and then I forgot. I'm using bread flour for this. So this is my favorite bread flour, and one of y'all, Miss D, sent me a bag of it. But this is the King Arthur unbleached bread flour. It's my favorite to work with. I also have done this many times using all-purpose flour and adding Vital wheat gluten to it. It really depends on what you want to do. I have an extra bag of this, thanks to Ms. D, so I'm going to be using mine up. All right, let me get one more jar and then I'll walk you through what's next. There's a couple ways you can change this to make it work for you, to be honest. I'm going to dump this way, which is not right, but it's fine. We're not exact around here. It's okay though. So the other thing you guys ask me all the time are where I get these containers. These are 6-quart restaurant containers, and they do come with normally come with a lid. I threw it on the floor. We get these at Sam's Club. It comes with 3 of them for $10. I store a lot of stuff in this. I store bread flour. I store my wheat flour, our oats, our semolina flour. They're super easy to grab and just carry around the kitchen. So I'm going to do 3 of these on camera, and then I'll do 3 off just because it makes my life easier. Okay, so you give these a shake. If you want, you can push it down. I'm going to use the back of this to kind of push it down, make a well. It's just a measuring cup. Another thing you guys always ask me about, Walmart. They're under $2, and they're a 4th cup measuring cup, and they're awesome. Okay, to each one of these, we have a couple options on what we're going to add. But everybody needs to add salt. I don't care if you use Himalayan salt. I don't care if you use table salt. I don't care if you use Celtic sea salt. I don't care, but you need 1 1/2 teaspoon of salt in each one. If you are salt sensitive, leave it out. It changes the flavor, but it'll still rise and do what it needs to do, so you're fine. The next thing you need to add is 2 tablespoons of sugar to each one of these. If you don't want to use sugar, you can use honey, but don't add it now, add it later. You can use like a coconut sugar if you prefer. I know that there's people that can't eat certain things, sugars. If it's a dried sugar, you're okay to add it. If it's a liquid sugar like honey or maple syrup, wait and add it later. So it's 2 tablespoons into each of our jars. And then the last thing we add is dried milk powder. I don't love this brand, but it's the one I have on hand, so it's what I'm using. I prefer whole milk versus non-fat milk powder. I think it has more creaminess to it. I like the Nido brand, which I know is not clean. And then I've used the one from Azure before as well. The biggest thing is you want to make sure that you get one that's shelf stable, because some of them are not. This one is, and it's from Walmart, and it's not that expensive. I add about a tablespoon, and I do it kind of a heaping tablespoon, because normally I would add 1/4 cup of milk. If you don't have dried milk powder, you can do that on the other side, but you wouldn't have very much in your jar if you just keep making all these substitutions. So a tablespoon of our milk powder going into each of our jars. Give it a shake. And that's the last of our ingredients, you guys. And then I'll tell you what else on this. If you don't want to use milk powder, or if you want to use like a coconut milk powder would work as well, but it's very adaptable, which is why I like this recipe. All right. That is, I'm going to save these to the side. But that's our whole recipe, you guys. So how do you make this? Oh, I am missing yeast. Okay, but I don't add yeast to mine because we buy, it's called Bella yeast. It is from Sam's Club. You get 2 pounds of it for like $5. It's really cheap. It's an instant yeast. I keep it in the freezer, and then every couple weeks I fill a jar that I keep in the fridge. I like to keep my yeast refrigerated because it makes it last longer, or frozen because then it lasts like pretty much indefinitely. If you add yeast to these, which you totally can as long as it's an instant yeast, you add 2 1/4 teaspoons. But the potency goes down on your yeast. It doesn't work as well. So you really shouldn't do it more than like a week to 2 in advance, or your bread's not going to rise as well. So it slowly loses its potency, and your bread's going to get flatter and flatter the longer this sits. What else did I say I was going to cover? Okay, let me go through the ingredients. Either way, this is what we've got, our jars of bread mix ready to go. So for flours, I use the bread flour, but like I said, if you want to use all-purpose flour and nothing else, it will work. Your rise and your chew will be a little bit different. It's not as fluffy and soft. You can get the Vital Wheat gluten from Azure Standard. If you go that route with all-purpose flour and adding the Vital Wheat gluten, I do a tablespoon. Simple. Number 2, what was the other thing? Milk powder. As long as it's shelf stable. If you want to make buttermilk powder, which I know a lot of people can get or may have as well, that's a good option. Salt, you can use the salt alternative. You can use whatever type of salt you want. And same with sugar. As long as it's a powdered sugar, it can go in here. Yeast, add it if you want. Or I just add it on the flip side. So when I go to make my bread, I use a bread machine. It does all the work for me. And then I don't cook it in the bread machine. I use it to do what I call the dough cycle. That's what it's called on a lot of them. It takes 1.5 hours to 2 hours, but then I dump it and make the bread in my oven. I find that the crust is a lot softer doing it that way, but this will work in a regular bread machine as well. So what I do is I add into my bread machine 4 tablespoons of butter. I need to find butter powder, like a dehydrated butter to put in these, because then I could eliminate that step. But it's really, really expensive, and I haven't figured out how to dehydrate my own yet. So I just use fresh butter. So I put 4 tablespoons of fresh butter. I put 1 1/4 cup of water. I add the contents of this, and then I add my yeast on top, which is 2 1/4 teaspoons. Then I do my dough cycle. If you are using like a KitchenAid mixer and making your bread that way, you would put your warm water. I do just a sprinkle of sugar in your warm water in addition to what you have in here. Add your yeast to it. Mix it up and let it just sit till it gets bubbly, just to make sure it's good and active. Dump this in it and get to mixing. That is the easiest way to do it. But I'm telling you guys, this is really, really simple, and you're way more prone, if you have something like this where you can just grab it, you're way more prone to make your homemade bread. Things like we've made our own homemade bread products, pretty much everything from scratch for like 3 years now. And if I have to go around my kitchen and grab all the ingredients, I'm way less prone to actually make bread. And so if I have this ready to go, it's much, much easier. Plus, this way Shawn can grab it. Not that he's incapable of grabbing the ingredients and doing it, he does it all the time. But it just makes it easy for anybody to step in and help. So I'm going to put the recipe for this along with how we use it in the description below. I will also put a link to our regular sandwich bread video. And maybe if I remember, like my hoagie rolls and hamburgers and hot dog buns and all the other things we use using this same bread mix. But if you look around on the channel, we use it in everything. We've done breadsticks with it. We've done donuts with it. We do like cinnamon pull apart bread. I mean, we use it all the time. So it's a great base recipe. Anyways, that is it, you guys. Now you know exactly where to find this. If you have any questions, hit me up in the comments below. And if you're new to our channel, hit subscribe, hit like, all those things that you're supposed to do on YouTube to know when I post. Okay, thanks guys. I appreciate you watching.